Why does my child lie so much? Sound familiar? Well, in this video, you'll hear from relationship expert Wendy Lynne as she explains how to deal with a child that lies. Hey, it's Clint with Sandstone Care, where we help teens, young adults, and their families overcome challenges that come with substance use, addiction, and mental health conditions. All right, let's get right to it.
The reason why people lie is self-protection. And parents always forget this. They tell their kids, just come to me, whatever you need, just come to me, call me when you're at a party. But what happens is when kids actually tell them the truth, and it might be a small truth, and they don't react in a way that's open and receptive, even if it's something that they don't want to hear, then kids get the message very strong. I can't tell you the truth. And a lot of times people get very indignant, like they're like, I don't lie, I don't believe in lying, lying's wrong. And I try to remind them, all of us lie. Wearing makeup is a lie, push-up bra is a lie. There's so many ways that we lie. I'm going to call you to go to lunch and we don't ever intend to do it. So we all do these little innocuous or white lies. So to judge other people when other people lie is not having any understanding or compassion or self-reflection, because I believe we all lie, but it's all a protection. And so if you can understand that and be very, very, very careful in how you respond to your kid, like, thank you for being honest with me. Thank you for sharing. Of course, I will be there for you. Instead of our knee-jerk reaction of, punishment or condemnation or indignation or any of these other reactions that parents do, which teaches the kid, I have to protect myself. I can't really trust my parent, and therefore I need to lie.
Yeah, I think that's like an interesting distinction, and it's a challenging line to walk, because you think about it, you're saying, okay, hey, if you're in a situation and you shouldn't drive because you drank too much or whatever, I want you to call me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I hear you saying is you do need to control your reaction to that, right? And at the same time, as a parent, like, you want to allow for natural life consequences, and you want to be able to let the child know that the behavior is not okay, right?
But those are two different things, though. So one is, thank you so much for calling me and so glad that you did it, and or, thanks for sharing that with me. So really acknowledging them for doing it. Now, the consequences in my mind should be set up in advance so that the kids are very aware of what's going to happen, because when you're punishing them in conjunction with them telling you the truth, they're just getting the message that I can't tell my parent the truth. So these type of consequences, if you go out and I smell alcohol, you're no longer going to have use of this car. So that it's setting up expectations in advance, but not punishing at the moment, because it gets lost in the thought that I can't be truthful. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, the proximity of those two things really do matter, because you don't want to correlate one with the other, right? And so I think that when you do that, so much of what a teen or young adult human being is going to do is they're going to do this risk reward, right? Like, okay, like, here's what I know is going to happen if I tell the truth and come clean, and here's what I know is going to happen if I lie about it and get away with it, right? So when you're weighing those pros and cons, there's always going to be the pull for, okay, let me lie and just get away with it, because I know, because this was set up beforehand, that if I tell the truth, I'm going to get the car taken away from me, right? And we don't want that. So how do you help encourage honesty when it's, evident, if I'm weighing these pros and cons, that I don't like the consequence that's going to come as a result of that?
Well, a couple of things there is to remember that your kids don't want to lose your love and respect. And so the line is really about so they don't lose your love and respect. And if you can really internalize that, you'll have a lot more compassion. What happens is that parents deliver consequences as punishment. And when you deliver it as punishment, it feels like punishment, then they feel resentful and they miss the message And so the consequence has to be with love, and it has to be an understanding of, you know, when you make a choice to do something, this is going to be the consequence. And I think the problem is a lot of times the consequences don't make sense with the action. A lot of times it's taking away the phone, taking away the computer, and that doesn't make sense. If someone comes home late, why are you taking away their computer? So it's a lot harder, but you need to come up with a legitimate consequence that makes sense to the action. And a lot of times what I recommend is asking the kids, what do they think should be the consequence? I always found it so hysterical with my boys because what I thought would be a consequence was teeny tiny in comparison to what they would come up with them for themselves. But then I held them accountable to what they came up with. But then they didn't feel so resentful because they were the ones who suggested the consequence for their behavior. So I think that's a great tip. And sometimes it's the long game. Like, you don't have to automatically punish right away because 9 times out of 10, if they feel like they've disappointed you, that could be the consequence in and of itself.
If you want to learn more about treatment options for you, your teen, or young adult, then tell us about your situation on a confidential call using the number linked up in the description box below, or live chat with us at sandstonecare.com. We'll connect you with the treatment that you need, and if we're not the right fit, we'll get you where you need to go. Be well, and remember that change is possible.